Hello friends, and welcome! In today's video I wanted to talk a bit about color mixing and do a little palette challenge, painting the same picture 6 times, starting with different paints each time. I chose this photo of a butterfly that I took over the summer, and if you want to try this challenge too, I've attached a link to the photograph in the description below. I got the idea for this challenge from a Jackson's Art blog post, and the link is in the description if you're interested. I wanted to challenge myself to use a limited palette and really get into color mixing, because so often I go a little crazy when I work even on small paintings with the amount of paint tubes I pull out of my bag. So here I'm sketching the same drawing of a butterfly 6 times. I've added a little swatching corner in each of the 6 quadrants. So to start off with, I use a very traditional primary palette, consisting of a cool red, a warm yellow, and a warm blue. The Holbein color names are yellow, carmine, and ultramarine blue. In each painting, I also use titanium white to really capture different brightnesses. In each painting, I use this little grid to do a little preliminary exploration, consisting of the different color possibilities for each palette. Some combinations were legitimately surprising in later paintings, but in this one, red, blue, and yellow don't really contain any surprises. The pure colors are always on the hypotenuses of the triangle, so something that I definitely took for granted in this painting is the warmth of the palette. The warm blue and the warm yellow really make for a really warm green and a warm brown. And so this painting just exudes this summery warmth and this mood that I didn't really notice until I had used other blues and other yellows later on. The second palette was much more muted, using a far more natural pigment in earthier tones, a yellow ochre, a burnt sienna, and a Prussian blue. I love these colors together, but I was really dismayed with how dull the green mixture was. Prussian blue is a fairly cool blue, and yellow ochre is a fairly muted yellow, so it was hard to create those variations in the brightness of the green without washing out all the saturation completely. That being said, I absolutely love the high level of contrast I was able to capture, because Prussian blue is the darkest paint I own, with the exception of black, and a yellow ochre white mixture is such a lovely, lovely highlight color. I actually learned that tip from Lisa Lockery from the YouTube channel Lockery Fine Art. She was the one that changed my mind about using pure white in my paintings, because she said that she never does, and instead always mixes a little bit of ochre in with her white to do a highlight color. The third butterfly is the complete opposite of the previous palette. The extraordinarily vibrant pink, the same warm yellow as in the first one, and a cerulean blue. Here, I was really pleasantly surprised by the incredible purple and orange I was able to make using that atrociously bright pink. I don't think I've actually ever used the pink alone on a painting. It's far too luminous and it draws the eye an insane amount. But I had the exact opposite problem from the previous painting. I wasn't able to create a lot of tonal contrast. So it sort of looks like a really bright butterfly on a foggy day. The reason this is because the darks, there isn't really a shade in this palette that is dark enough to really capture the dark tones. This next palette was super intimidating to me. It's a secondary palette, consisting of an orangey red, being the Vermillion, a violet, and a green, the Viridian. I took several breaks in the middle of this painting to recalibrate and gather up courage because I was so scared of making something ugly. in the end, I love the electric blue appearance of the green, even though you can see I'm mixing it with a bit of violet and vermilion to tone it down, because just on its own, mixed with white, it's very intense. This palette definitely surprised me with how usable it was. I know part of that is the image that I'm using, but the Viridian and the violet also mixed to create a really gorgeous navy blue, which I wasn't expecting, but it worked out really well because I was able to use it on that top of the wing. I was also really obsessed with the brown that the Vermillion was able to create. It was so warm and deep and interesting. So for the fifth palette, I decided to combine my favorite color from the 3 previous palettes. I love yellow ochre, I adore cerulean, and I was so surprised by that vermilion. This way, the brightness of the vermilion and cerulean balanced the ochre, which is a lot more chill. And in the end, I loved this version the most, in terms of realism and in terms of liveliness. But also by this time, I had painted the scene so many times that I was really getting progressively faster, and it was easier each time to capture the butterfly using whatever colors I had. The cerulean in the wingtip was really one of my favorite parts of this picture, because it just, I don't know why the last time I used cerulean it didn't pop as much as it does here, but I think combined with the vermilion to make that brown, everything just works really well together in this palette. I'll have to keep this one in mind. So I wanted to do a brighter green again for my last version of this painting, so I decided to play with a red, blue, and green palette, a warm light green, a cool red, that Carmine, and a cool blue, that Prussian blue. So in this painting, I basically toned the green down using either the red or the blue, or both, and I was really impressed with the variety I was able to achieve without an actual yellow tone. The only time I was really missing a yellow paint was on the wing details, but you can see here on the leaves that the green just blends beautifully both on the foreground leaves and the background leaves, it becoming such a natural green even though the tube paint looks so plastic. And here you can see the wing details, which I wanted them to be warmer and brighter, but this was really the warmest that I could push them without a yellow. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this challenge, which butterfly is your favorite. I'm so curious, and please subscribe to this channel if you're interested in seeing more challenges involving paints. I hope you have a good one. Take care. Bye!